Hello. In today's code, we are going to have a look at making rainbows. We are going to make them using variables and arrays. Arrays are just lists, or rather shopping lists in coding. So the first thing we want to do is start a new world, and then we open up Code Builder. Let's start a new project and give our project a name. I'm going to call mine Rainbow. And hit the create button. Okay, right. First things first, let's go and see if we can set some basic things up on start. We obviously don't want to build in the dark, so we might want to set our time to day. Every time we press start, our time resets to day. We might even want to clear the weather because we maybe don't want to build in the rain. We might also go to gameplay and show a title. Now, these are the things that we do pretty much every week. So it's a nice little kind of icebreaker, if you like. So I'm just going to say welcome. And the subtitle I might say to Rainbow City. There we go. And if we run our code, press start, here we are. It says welcome to Rainbow City. Nice. As you can see, the subtitle's a bit smaller. Let's go back into code. This time we want to build our rainbow. So we might want to use a chat command because we don't want to build a rainbow as soon as we hit start. I'm going to call this rainbow, but you can give it any name you like. Right, let's see. First thing we want to do is we obviously want to get the shape of the rainbow. Now, the rainbow is actually a circle shape, isn't it? So we can go to the advanced menu and go to shapes. In shapes, let's take the circle out, drag it in, and then you can choose what color you'd like. Now, of course, the rainbow has 7 different colors. One of them is violet. I think the nearest one is probably purple. Now, wool comes in lots of different colors. In fact, if you search for wool, you'll notice that it comes in all these different colors. So I think it's a good material to use to make a rainbow with. Another good choice is concrete, which comes in lots of colors as well. Don't choose concrete powder because that falls down in Minecraft. It has gravity or physics in Minecraft. So I would highly recommend using either concrete or wool. I'm just going to go for wool just because it feels a little bit fluffy. It's got more texture to it. And I might go for purple instead of, there's no violet color. So, okay. Now, where is the center of this circle going to be? So remember, 0, 0, 0 is where you're standing because these are relative coordinates. It's 0 blocks away from you. So if this is the circle, that's its center. That's literally where you are, which is okay actually, because half your circle is going to build above ground and the other half will actually build below ground. So you'll never be able to see it. You'll just see the top half, the top semicircle, essentially, which is fine. Let's move this circle center a little bit further away, maybe 10 blocks away so you can see it better from a distance. Now, radius of 5 might be a bit small, and you probably already know that the radius of a shape is essentially the distance from the middle to the edge. So if it's 5 blocks this way and 5 blocks that way, your circle has a diameter of 10 or is 10 blocks wide. I think 10 would be too small. So I'm going to start at 20. And of course, you don't want to fill the circle in. So you might want to use hollow. Hollow will hollow out the ground beneath your feet as well. So I would highly recommend using outline. Okay, so we're going to go with outline. If you press start, open chat, type in rainbow, you will notice that your rainbow gets built. Now, the rainbow doesn't just have one color, it has 7 colors. So we're going to go back and do this 7 times. Now, if we were to repeat this pattern 7 times, we'd obviously be using a loop. You already know about repeat loops. Loops are fantastic in coding because it allows you to repeat patterns in code. I'm going to repeat that 7 times. Let's test it out. Okay, the big problem, as you might have already guessed, is that when you build it 7 times, it's going to build it in exactly the same location and exactly the same color, which isn't going to help us. So let's see how we might be able to choose different colors for our rainbow? Right, we could use something called arrays. Arrays are like shopping lists. They are really useful in coding because you need to be able to tell a computer what materials to choose, and things like that. It's a bit like a shopping list. If you go to the supermarket if you want to make a cake and you go to the supermarket, you want to make a shopping list of things like flour, butter, sugar, eggs, things like that. And that is what a list is. So in arrays, let's go create or set a list, drag it in. Obviously, you want to set the list right at the beginning so that you can tell Minecraft which material to choose. And of course, this array has numbers in it. We don't want numbers, we want materials. So we go to blocks and we drag out our trusty grass block from here, pop it in the 0 position, and then another one in the 1 position. Now, of course, I can change this to purple wool. And we know that the next color up is indigo, which is kind of like cyan in the wool. Might be a little bit different, but never mind. Okay, let's tap on the plus so that we can get another material. And you know that Minecraft is pretty clever. Instead of 0, 1, it notices that you started to choose block, so it's added you a block. Blue is going to be your next one. Okay, yeah, let's choose a light blue wool. And then at one point, when you keep tapping on the plus, it starts to go downwards, which is totally fine. It's just realizing that you've got a long list. It starts to go down instead of to the side. Green. I think I'm going to choose lime because that's a brighter green. Lime. And then add a plus. And then add yellow. And then a plus again. And then orange. I'm going to choose orange wool. And then finally, red. So these are our 7 colors selected. That's great. Now we need to tell Minecraft to keep changing the colors from this list. Choose from this list from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put them there. So what we're going to do is, obviously, this still means that you're choosing purple. It's a static material. We need to make it dynamic or shifting or moving. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the read function within arrays and then get list. Well, list, get, and remove value at 0. Or you can just say get and remove first value from list. Whichever one you like. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to do the same job. So we're going to get the first value in here and then get rid of it. And then once that goes, this one becomes the first value, and then this one, and then this one, and this one. So it looks like it will go through the iterations. It'll just, as it goes, as it repeats, it will pick each one by one. Let's test this out and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to open chat and type in rainbow, which is my chat command. And you can see that it's making, try not to move whilst it's building, by the way, because it's just gonna, you remember, it's using you as its center. Okay, it looks like it's doing something, but it's building everything in the same place. Oh gosh, okay, I think the yellow one was concrete powder. It fell. But it's building the rainbow in exactly the same place. And that's not great, is it? Because you want it to build kind of, you want the circles to be smaller and smaller. Let me just fix the yellow concrete powder. Wool. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and build some concentric circles. So the center will be exactly the same for these circles because the rainbow has the same center. But what's going to need to change is your radius. Now, the radius right now is fixed at 20 blocks. We can change that. And we can change that by using something called variables. If you go to variables, remember variables are pieces of information that the computer holds in its brain. And we can change that information as well. It's quite easy to change. It's a bit like your score in a game. As you score points, your score goes up. So your score is a variable. And if you take damage, your lives go down, and your lives are a variable as well. So let's click on make a variable. And I'm going to call this radius because that's what we're wanting to change. The first thing we want to do is we want to set our radius. So you might want to set it maybe outside of the loop because you don't want to put it inside the loop. Otherwise, it will reset to every iteration, reset it to the same value. Let's set it to maybe 20. That's what we wanted to do, right? Our radius is 20. Now, our first one is 20. So what we're going to do, instead of changing it, instead of leaving it as 20, we're going to go to variable and get the radius out. And we know that our radius is 20. So the first time it will build us a circle, which is 20 blocks wide, or rather 40 blocks wide. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to build the next circle, but the next circle will have a slightly bigger radius. So let's go to variables. We're going to this time change our radius. Change means making bigger or smaller. Drag, not the set one. If we change it out, pop it inside the loop because you don't want to put it outside the loop, because if you keep changing your radius in the loop, that's obviously going to have an effect because each of your circles is going to get bigger and bigger. But if you leave it outside the loop, your radius is going to stay the same. And once your loop finishes, that's when your radius is going to get bigger, which is something we don't want. No point to that. Here we go. It's inside the loop. Now remember, we have to stay still for this one because we are still using dynamic coordinates. These are your player coordinates rather than the world coordinates. So let's press play. I'm going to move maybe away. Let's move here and build our radius, or rainbow rather. Yeah. And as you can see, it builds. Try not to move. You can watch it. Move your head. Oh, look. Violet, indigo blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Lovely. Okay, this is finished. And you'll notice that there are some gaps in the in here and that's really because Minecraft is a blocky pixelated kind of world. The blocks are quite big, and of course, if you have a big box, it won't build a perfect circle. So there will be some gaps here and there, and that's very normal. I would suggest just filling these gaps in with maybe lanterns and things like that. And if when it's nighttime, it will look pretty cool, actually. So if I change my, let's actually do this in the code. Let's change day to night or midnight. Press play, and you'll notice that it looks quite nice, doesn't it? So you could actually add more lanterns in all the gaps, and your rainbow kind of glows in the dark, which is very nice. And that's the end of our code for our rainbow. Remember, we used arrays, which are really useful. And then, of course, we used variables to change the size of our circles. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.